What's happening is your homeboy Mr. Capone, and we're in another edition of a podcast. Obviously, it's not the way that I want to have it set up soon, but this is just about talking about fights because this boxing podcast will be starting next year. But today we're going to talk about Lomachenko versus Kobe. If you guys watched the fight this weekend, Lomachenko, one of the highest regarded boxers in the game as an amateur, one of the top boxers, uh, best footwork, best artillery. He's one of the best boxers in the game. He fought Comey. What happened? He did what he did. He easily won that fight. But what I'm here to talk about his flaws and his good stuff. So controversially, a lot of people say that Lomachenko is one of the best boxers in the game. He's pound for pound, top 10, top 5. At one time, even top 1, 2, or 3. I personally think he has a little bit more to go to make that list of the top 5, top 10. Now, these are my reasons for this. So Lomachenko, as you know, as an amateur was brilliant, outstanding, devastating. But a lot of the fights as an amateur, you wear headgears, you fight different fights, short rounds, stuff like that, right? So in those amateur days, he was devastating. You know, he's one of the best boxers. I put Amir Khan in that list. I put Lomachenko in that list. And obviously Floyd Mayweather is obviously in that list. And he's definitely a great boxer. But then when you get to the boxing, there's one thing about having great skill and great style. But if you don't know the ruggedness, unorthodox styles, you can also lose. Like Amir Khan, pedigree, Olympic whacking fools. Lomachenko doing it. Floyd Mayweather knew how to deal with rugged styles. So I feel Lomachenko hasn't yet locked that part down for me to make him top pound for pound boxer. But is he one of the best? Yeah. So let's go back on Lomachenko's losses, all right? And I'm a fan of Lomachenko. Like, this is sweet science. This is double S boxing, right? So we call it the sweet science of boxing. And if you want to talk sweet science, Lomachenko is sweet science. I mean, he knows how to box. He knows how to move. He's got great leg movement. Boom, boom. You know what I'm saying? Like, he got it. Now, the thing that, to me, he hasn't proven yet, he fought 2 fighters that were, maybe 2 or 3 fighters he fought, but I would say, obviously, he fought 2 fighters that are very unorthodox. Salido. If you guys watched that fight, because I watched it, Orlando Salido fighting Lomachenko. Now, that should be easy win for Lomachenko. And Salido's lost like 6 fights or a number of fights, right? I don't know exact total, but he's lost a lot of fights. But when a guy fights you very unorthodox and you don't know that style, you can obviously get caught with a lot of shots. You know, overhand rights, head down, swinging, whoop, whoop. And he was getting hit with a lot of shots. Same with, who else did he lose to? Teofimo Lopez. Now, Theo, same thing. Unorthodox sometimes, but he'll hit you with some haymakers. And he was catching Lomachenko with a lot of haymakers. And he lost 2 fights. Lost to Salido and Teofimo. His record is what, 15, 16, and 2. That's not 30, 40, and 2, 30, and 0. So to me, there's a lot of flaws I see in Lomachenko. Now, definitely he's one of the best boxers. You put a headgear on, I think he beats everyone in his division easily. He's a top dog. But as you know, in this division, we got Isaac Cruz coming up. Now, Isaac Cruz could be that unorthodox guy that can give Lomachenko problems. Maybe Lomachenko can box him from a distance, stay away, but he will get caught. Ryan Garcia, I think Lomachenko should handle that, but he could get caught. You know what I'm saying? Teofimo, we all seen it. He got caught. Hanley against Lomachenko, that makes for a great matchmaking fight. Hanley is one of the best in the division, but stylistically, that benefits both sides right there, because Lomachenko could actually win that fight, but then Hanley can beat guys from a distance. He's gonna fight the new dude from Australia, and I think Hanley should be able to win that fight. Some people might not think so, but I think Hanley can box from a distance, and he can win that fight. Now Lomachenko, can beat a lot of fighters, but this unorthodox thing is tricky. Now, this division that we're talking about, so let's get to the new situation, the division that they're all in. There's a lot of good fights there. Lomachenko, Haley, Gervonta Davis. And to me, Gervonta Davis is the number one on my list. Next to Haley, number two. Lomachenko, probably the most skilled, but if he can figure out that unorthodox style, then he can be that number one guy. But right now, Gervonta got it. Number two is Haley, and I might be missing guys right now. Off the top of my head, I'm speaking. Number three could be Lomachenko right now. I don't know if I'm missing anybody. Four, Kambosos, he won the fight, so you got to give him number four in the top three. And then I think Teal still right there, number five in the list. Then you got from there's a lot of sock 'em, drop 'em guys. Ryan Garcia, he's got that one shot. Isaac Cruz got that aggression. There's a couple guys. That division is stacked, the most exciting division in boxing. Heavyweight was and is still an exciting division, but we see Wilder take 2 losses to Tyson Fury, and that takes Wilder out of the occasion. We've seen Joshua lose to Usyk, so that division is still a hot division, but this new division that we're talking about right now, it's the division that's popping with all the exciting fighters, and Lomachenko is definitely an exciting fighter, and he could be the best. He is one of the best, but what people say and I say, the difference is Lomachenko hasn't proved that he can fight unorthodox style fighters, and that's what we need to see. Comedy, the fight that he fought it was in his range. Boxing, he can do his thing, right? But when he fights guys like Isaac Cruz, Teal, you got unorthodox style. You know what I'm saying? Even Ryan Garcia, unorthodox. You just never know. Lomachenko could be just battering him up, and then that Ryan with that 1 or 2 shots could change the whole game. So right now, Lomachenko is still growing. We can't everyone put him in a high pedestal very quick. 15 wins, 16 wins, and 2 losses. Obviously, the amateurs they're looking at, and they're not looking at he's now in the professional league, and I think he could be one of the best boxers. But right now, to me, we still got Gervonta Davis in there. Haley has proved that he knows how to box also, but there's questions also about the chin action. But Haley is definitely one. Gervonta now, he showed he can scrap, he can go for pressure, and he has the power. So Gervonta's up there, and then Lomachenko, and then, the list goes on. So that's my intake on Lomachenko, and that's my intake on the division of boxing. I need everybody to leave their comments. Who do you think is the best in that division? You can leave your comments below what you think. As I get used to this podcast, I'm going to start getting on my phone and start replying back to you guys. You know what I'm saying? Talking to you guys and saying what I got a lot of things that I think, and some people might think Lomachenko is the best. I definitely think he's the best boxer. He's one of the greatest boxers, but unorthodox takes you out of that number 1 slot, where Gervonta's unorthodox, and he got the boxing skill and the power. Might not be the better boxer as Lomachenko, but hey, styles makes fights. In boxing, it's always styles make fights. And every other boxer you guys could think is good, this, that, everyone has a weakness. Every man can have a weakness. So, hey, this division, everybody's showing what their weakness is, and the 4 or 5 guys that are in the list, they can all beat somebody in that list. It's a tough division. That's what makes it exciting. There's nobody hiding. Everyone's stepping up and fighting. Everyone's getting down. Much props to everyone in the division. And Lomachenko, that's my take on Lomachenko. And we're going to see more fights on him. Obviously, he's a Ukrainian. They got great fighters. That whole region over there, from Ukraine to all of Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, all the stands, that whole region over there is producing great fighters. And I predicted this years ago, they will be the future of boxing. And just in the last 10, 15 years of boxing, the top 2 in the top 10 pound for pound list, you got Lomachenko, you got Usyk, you got 2 Ukrainians up there. And before that, when they first got into boxing, you had the Klitschkos that just dominated. So they got their fighters. There's a lot of other ones coming up, and I'm going to talk about another podcast about the big fight that's happening on the 17th. showcase a bunch of the Uzbekistan fighters who all fought in the Olympics, took gold medals and dominated, and they're all 10-0, 12-0, 15-0, and they're gonna have a lot of fights coming up. We'll talk about that, but this is about Lomachenko. He's one of the best boxers in the game, and we'll see where his career goes, man. We're gonna watch it very carefully, and if you want to ask me questions when fighting, who should I bet on, whatever, just hit me up, homies. I'll give you the best. I'll give you the best chance that I think if you want to take my decision, right? Hey, Sweet Science, Double S Boxing, SS. Share this, spread the word, boxing community. Get ready, Mr. Capone-E's coming in the game. If I can get committed to this, doing these podcasts every fucking day, I'm gonna start interviewing everybody. I'm gonna start pulling up to these fights. I gotta learn how to run these computer technology, and then Capone will let you know my knowledge. Hey, I made nothing from something. I got the mind, so hey, trust me. When I tell you about boxing, you can disagree or agree, but I got a little game. So yeah, man, check it out. Subscribe, tell a friend. Let me know your comments. Talk to me. Let me know what you think about Lomachenko. What you think about Gervonta Davis. What do you think about Haley? What do you think about the new guy, Isaac Cruz, in the division? What do you think about Ryan Garcia? What do you think about that whole division? I'm not biased. I don't choose boxers off nationalities, this, that. I'm just telling you what I feel like in boxing. And you tell me what you think is the best boxer in the game and of that division. You know what I'm saying? And there's more divisions to talk about. So, hey, podcast, Mr. Capone, the Double S, Big Double S, Sweet Science Boxing. Hey, much love, and we got more for you. Oh, subscribe.